Sunday. How you doing, man?
I'm well, man. How are you?
Good. Trying to lift the spirits up. I know a lot of people are losing a lot of money in this market, not being nimble enough.
Yeah,
so
man.
trying to keep the spirits up.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's been a rough go.
yeah. So here's the thing. I mean, everyone should be some sort of a long-term investor, hold some shares, take your options profits, throw it into some companies for long term. And if you did that and you're feeling the pain now, then you use options to hedge the downside, right? You buy puts or you go long on VIX or whatever your strategy is, so you can make money when everyone else is red. So that's the strategy. That's what we're here to kind of instill on everybody. So the market has been red for the past couple of weeks, but there's a lot of money that could have been made in that time. So I hope you guys are capitalizing.
Yeah. I mean, there's money to be made upside, downside. So hopefully we can catch some more either way. Well, we will catch some more either way.
Exactly. So welcome to Gold Rush Weekly Watch List. Happy Sunday. Thank you guys for being here with us. If you're not part of the Gold Rush gang and you would like to try us out for 1 week free on the house, go to goldrushgang.net. Go ahead and click the join us button, and then you can scroll down to the bottom and click where it says Fun Pass. You get full access to the entire server for 1 week free on the house. So go ahead and take advantage. And yeah, feel free to check out our website. We have a bunch of information there regarding the server. And if you do have any questions and you want to reach out, you can drop a comment on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube, or you can scroll down to our website and contact us, leave your question there, and we'll go ahead and get back to you. I think I don't have a lot this week personally. Can you guys see my screen? Let me get a 0 in the chat if you can see my screen, please.
I see it, man.
Okay, cool. So I don't have much this week, but Jay, if you want to talk about markets, or you want to just get right into your list?
I mean, I don't have much either. I guess the only thing that let me see, is if you just put you put fibs on SPX from pandemic low to our recent all-time high. I mean,
yeah, this puts it into perspective a little bit.
There's still pain if you just go by fib levels.
Yeah.
We're underneath the 200. 23.6 retracement is basically 4,200. It's 200 points. The chart doesn't show too much support. Maybe 4,300 natural round number. I mean, there's some candles there that show support there, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days worth.
Mm-hmm.
And then 4,200. I don't know. I mean, my guess is you don't have much going. You don't have too much because I don't have too much either. Is all because Apple, Amazon, Microsoft. Got to wait for them to report this week, and that sets the tone for everything.
Yeah. Actually, I'm glad that you mentioned that. So let me see. I'm just gonna open this up. There we go. So as you mentioned, we got the big boys reporting this week. We have a few banks tomorrow before open, IBM, Logitech after the close, and then Tuesdays when the release starts with Microsoft. Microsoft after market close, Capital One after market close. We got 3M before market. We have Raytheon before market, American Express, Verizon, J&J. I mean, everything that we've played all last year, they're all reporting. This is earnings season, so we're going to get pretty much all the large companies reporting. Wednesday after market, we have Tesla and Xilinx, and Thursday after market, we have Apple, we have Visa, and Friday.
Yeah, pre-market, you've got MasterCard, you've got McDonald's. I mean, it's just up and down the board, everything.
Yeah, Boeing, some airlines, Blackstone. So I think we're in some sort of a holding pattern, waiting. And so here's the thing: with earnings, they're reporting on what they did last quarter, right? So a lot of the stuff is already, like Apple, I'm sure, is priced in a little bit. Most of the stuff is probably priced in, and really what the main component, the main thing that we want to look for with these reports is how they plan to guide for the next quarter and the next year. That's really the key to where the market is going to go. If any of these, especially like Microsoft, Tesla, Apple, if they issue some weak guidance, then and people, they don't instill some crazy faith into the investors, then there's no reason why we can't continue to slide down a little bit. Obviously, looking at this is the weekly on SPX. Let me go back to the daily. We've been in a little bit of a slide ever since we kind of formed this zone here, and we just been sliding. We broke this trend line from. I have a trend line from the lows of March. Yeah, I mean, just almost a year of uptrend got taken out this last week, and so I think, let me go to the weekly real quick because I think there's one that's still intact. Let's see. Oh no, nothing's intact. Maybe there's one here. Maybe there's one there. Yeah, I mean, we're just about at the this is our saving grace, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
But just like Jay mentioned, if we have like, what is another between 43.97 down to 42.69, over 100 points on an SPX until we reach the next fib level. And that would really just take out a couple of months of some of the, since October, all the gains that we had since October. And that's a previous level of resistance right here. So, I mean, it just seems like a logical spot, right? Just this next fib level seems like the next logical spot to reach before we can start thinking about which direction we're going to continue to either go down or turn around and go up. I don't have any moving averages on this, but whatever.
Yeah, you don't need them. The only one you need is the 200 that broke through.
Yeah, it broke. 200
that was our last line of defense in terms of moving averages.
Yeah. So, well said. You want to go? You want to go through a couple, or you want me to just blow through this?
Yeah, go for it, man. Because I've got three. It's just I got two if we bounce and everything looks good, and one that just looks perfect to short right now.
Copy. So. All right. So while we're doing the indices, I'm just gonna go through IWM and QQQ. So IWM, as you know, we've played it a bunch. Let me go into the weekly so it's a little bit clearer. We obviously made a big bullish move out of the COVID lows, and we've been forming this kind of sideways choppy action for a while. We broke out of a little bit of this box. This was back in November, and we had a nice week in November, and then it kind of just fell and died back into the box. And now we're testing the downside and actually coming down below the previous downside of this box, right? Let me get rid of this this channel. Yeah, so my box was in green, and we tested above it, and now we're testing below it. IWM holds a majority of the market, so most stocks look exactly like this. Most of these companies look exactly like this with just nasty sells. Now, looking at it on a technical perspective, I mean, obviously the next fib level is way down here at 181. We're currently trading at, where are we? We're currently trading at 197.21. There might be some potential support in this area here between pretty much the range of this candle between 197 and 189. So we're just at an area where there might be some potential support based on what I see in these candles here, but I wouldn't bet on it. I mean, there's all bets are off. And then if you look at the RSI, a lot of people were saying the RSI is approaching a bunch of oversold levels all over the market. I mean, the RSI is at 33. It's gotten as low as what is this, 2019, right? So we've gone as low as, let me go back to, I just want to be very, very precise. Yeah, we've gone as low as 1774. So there's plenty of pain. I mean, there's no reason why we can't continue to test some of these lower levels. Will we? Who knows? We got to be ready for both upside and downside. Now, another thing that I will mention, this is a weekly, and there was absolutely no buying power, no buying pressure at the end of the week whatsoever, none. So if I do SPX, I bet it's the same. Yeah, there's like a tiny bit of buyers here, and that's pretty much meaningless. Now moving over to QQQ. The last time we spoke about QQQ, I think it was me see. Go to the daily so I can see what we got. Yeah, the last time we spoke about QQQ, we were talking about this kind of this previous falling resistance that might act as that acted in the past as support, and that might do it again. It just broke right through, just like everything else. We are almost 14% off the highs for QQQ. So, you know, obviously most tech companies, pretty much like 90% of tech companies are suffering right now. This is a gauge of that. Our first level would have been right around here at 357. Our next level, I'd say saving grace would be 350, and then we're gonna slide down to kind of this box over here, pretty much the next target. I'm fine with whatever it does. It can extend all the way down back to this level at 330. I'll be perfectly fine with it. It can bounce and go up to 500 tomorrow, and I'll be perfectly fine with it. Doesn't matter to me. I just want to quickly look at the RSI. So the RSI is wildly oversold, and it's the last time that it's been at this level was back in 2020, February of 2020. And then prior to that was June of 2019. So, or May rather, of 2019. So, I mean, we're at a level where we've bounced in the past. Let me go ahead and just draw a line there so you can kind of see. Yeah, we're at a level where we've bounced in the past, but previous performance doesn't dictate future results or whatever that term is. So there's no reason why this should bounce here. Just because RSI is signaling that you should buy, just because the MACD is way on the red side, you know, and super oversold, doesn't mean that people are going to step in and buy. That doesn't mean anything. You know, these are all lagging indicators, and so really they don't mean much. Now, one thing that I will say is there's kind of a head and shoulders kind of pattern going on over here with these highs here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 highs. And then since then, we've been kind of forming lower highs and lower lows. So it's an obvious downtrend. So the first thing we want to do is either, until it shows us that it wants to form a higher low, then all we got to do is just continue to play the downside. I mean, I see this thing sliding. Again, I see it sliding down to 342. Personally, I would like it, but whatever it does is what it does. As long as it gives us big rangy candles like this, you know, big candles, that's all I care about. I don't care about anything else. I don't want these little stupid choppy candles personally. So I see more downside. I hope that you all do as well. So let me just get into my list. I'm gonna make it super quick. And if you guys do have any symbols that you want us to go through, go ahead and throw it in the chat, and Jay and I will look at it. So the first one I have is MU. MU, you know, we played MU out of this kind of falling wedge into a demand zone. You know, we've played it out of the break of the flag over here out of this box, and now we're in some downside pain, right? So now the only thing I see with MU, and again, this can be taken out, this thesis could be taken out in minutes, but what I do see is that there was support in this level in the past. If I were to throw a volume profile, actually, I invite you all to, in your own analysis, throw a volume profile on MU's chart, and you'll see that there should be a bunch of volume just in this area based on all the candlesticks that we've seen here, right? I'm gonna go ahead and draw a line across my screen so we can kind of see where we are. Let's see, right here. Right here. Yeah, so, you know, there's been plenty of times where we've interacted with this level in the past, and that's exactly where we are now. So this is a key level for MU to kind of hold if you want to flip and turn to the upside. MU has earnings in a couple of months, so there's nothing in terms of earnings there. There is a little bit of a gap to fill underneath this fib level right here. So we have the previous level of resistance here. If this breaks through, then we can fall to this kind of fib level as a support. And if we fall to this fib level, then the next level would probably be 76.86. I'm not going to plot levels on this because I want to see what tomorrow's candle looks like before I can say, all right, let's plan, right? Unless it's a big red candle or it gaps down or something, and then the next target would be 78.76. I mean, the target is very clear, especially with this gap, especially underneath kind of these levels here for MU. While I'm on MU, I'm quickly going to look at TSM because I know TSM is also at a key level. Yeah, what is this? Is this just a level on its own? Yeah, this is just a level on its own, this red line that I have here. This red line, if you just look across from left to right, it wicked on over here on this candle. It gapped above it, but then rejected on this candle. It rejected on these 2 days. It rejected on this day. It rejected hard on this day. And then it acted as support here. So now we're just at that same level. And so let's see what it's going to do into tomorrow and into this week. Again, I don't expect it to really do much. Now I think actually I'm happy that we looked at this because this looks like it has more downside pain. So I'm going to draw, I mean, really the break of this day will take down this day, take down this day, take down the low of day, and then we have the anchored VWAP to kind of catch us. Now this VWAP is anchored from the all-time high, the previous all-time high, the previous all-time high. Not necessarily the most recent all-time high, but the previous all-time high back in 2021, February 2021. So almost a year of sideways price action to just come right back to this level here, this VWAP. So this is going to be a very, very crucial level for us to test on TSM. Let me look at some momentum indicators real quick. Yeah, I mean, RSI is ice cold. Or not ice cold. Obviously, there's much more downside. So I would say that we're going to try to test that downside. We just flipped red on the MACD. So I assume there's going to be a couple more days, 2-3 more days at least of downside move. And so here are your targets. We have 124, take out 124, come down to 123.26. Below that, 121.75. Very, very clear targets. I'm going to get rid of this line. Actually, I'm going to hide it because it's probably going to pop up in the future. Let me see. What is it? This line. Okay. Yeah, cool. It was a fib line. Oh, that's a fib line. So which Fibonacci is that? That's the 786 Fibonacci on a large time frame. So this is going to be a key area right here. 120.89 is going to be a very, very, very key level for TSM to hold if it breaks through these previous levels. And I mean, this area right here is just a strong area of support, in my opinion. I honestly don't even think that it might make it all the way down here, but we'll see. We'll see. This is a key, very, very key area of support right there for TSM. So let me just mark it down. And then I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I like to look at some things, things together with their competitors. Right, so MU, TSM. So let me go ahead and put a flag on that for later. All right, cool. The next one I have is Baidu. So Baidu is forming a rising wedge out of demand. This previous demand zone is forming a rising wedge now into a potential supply zone here. And if we break up above here, we have this previous supply zone as well. So I just see, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna hold this kind of aggressive line, rising support line here. It might not. It might just take it down and kind of test these previous levels. I'm going to give you levels on this. So break of day low. This is a very clear strat play for these 3 days, right? Just take the lows out. I see I'm more biased to the downside based on the selling pressure that I see here. Now, if we do take out this low, this 149.61, we can easily come down and see a 144.41. So big moves out of Baidu. So I'm looking for a continuation to the downside, especially with the RSI that's relatively stable, but to the it looks like it's up high and wants to come down. And with a MACD that is losing strength, right? So I see more downside for Baidu. The next one I have is MRK. MRK to me is, although there was a big red day on Friday, still bullish. And the reason why I'm still bullish on it is because I see kind of a cup and handle, kind of a bull flag, right? And so what I did was I drew a fib from this high to this low right here, and I got where we kind of bounced on a key level at the 618 Fibonacci, and we're still in this kind of downward channel. We're within the confines of the channel, excuse me. So if we see some continuation even to the downside, as long as we hold this fib level at what is this? Let me change the color so it's a little bit more clear. If we can hold this level here at 79.81, then I can see how we can continue to move, hold, and then possibly turn around and try to test some of the upper levels of this kind of flag formation here. And obviously, if it breaks this 79.81, then we just play the fibs, climb that ladder on the way down. We just play the ladder for MRK. The next one that I see is Love. Next one setup that I saw is Love. And so Love is kind of doing this kind of big bullish move, a bunch of consolidation in this area. So you can see kind of a box that it formed. Let me draw it out for you so it's a little bit more clear. I'm just going to draw a random box here so I can change the properties of it. Okay, cool. And let's see. So it's kind of trading within this box. Now it's outside of the box. Actually, I can probably extend this to here. So now it's kind of outside of the box. You know, depending on how you look at it, maybe this is the box. I see it more like, to be honest, I see it more as that. That's more of a, you know, that's more of what it looks like for me. Now, this is just an area of consolidation. It kind of died out of this area. It took out these previous supports here and this previous resistance and fell underneath it. The next level of potential support would be this 50% retracement at 42.58. So if we fall into this 42.58 level and find some sort of reversal pattern on any time frame, you know, you'll see it building on the 5-minute first, and then the 15-minute, and then the 30-minute, and then the hour. And then once you have the hour kind of reversal pattern forming, now you know that it's going to start forming on the larger time frames, right? So, and then what I see here is like, you know, there was kind of a all green days, and then a day of indecision, and then a continuation. So I want to see if we can find support right at this previous indecision level right here. So pretty much around anywhere around the between 42.58 down to about 42.20, you know, 42.20, let's call it. I would like to see this come down, test it, base, and then work its way back up. Right now, it's not ready though. I mean, you could play downside if you want until it gets there. So that's pretty much all. There's a bunch of the airlines, you know, just while we're on it. I mean, some of them have the same kind of look, but Delta's really ugly. What was that? Was that UAL? Oh no, UAL, really ugly, strong retracement. AL. The reason why I say these are ugly is because look at Love. Love is still, it still hasn't retraced 50% of the move, right? So the move is still, if you started on this day and you're here today, we're still positive, right? We're still positive. Look at AAL. AAL is from the same day where we kind of started that move. It's negative, right? DAL, forget all the noise in the background. DAL has done more than 50%. What's the other one? I think this is an airline. Yeah, Save, Spirit's done more, right? So they've all kind of retraced a little bit more than Love, than Southwest. And so Southwest to me has a show of relative strength. So if one of them is going to slow down, I mean, they're all going to slow down together, right? Even if we look at the sector, the Jets ETF, Jets it's kind of at a 50%, and Love is a little bit stronger than even Jets. So if anyone slows down, if any of them slow down and get good news and travel and reopen, that whole trade kind of starts getting vibes again, then I expect this one to be the first one to kind of turn around and work its way back up. So that's why I like it this week, right? It's obviously subject to change. The next one I have is Dropbox. Dropbox is forming a broadening formation. I spotted it on the weekly where it's kind of, you know, and obviously some of us like this, some of us don't like it, but I do want to point it out. This all just shows basically an increase in volatility, especially when you see like these large candles, some indecision, and just a massive downside push, right? Some indecision over here, then work its way back up, massive downside. So just an increase in volatility. So there might be some trade for you in Dropbox. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this line here, but I kind of want to see where it opens. I want to see where it opens. It might open, you know, the thing with these lines sometimes is that it just opens wherever it wants, and it disrespects kind of where the line is. But if it stays within its range, then these are the levels that you want to play. Right here to the right are the levels that you want to play. I think that there's more downside just to test the bottom of this pattern, and you know, especially since the rest of the market is pointing downside. What makes Dropbox so special that it will want to turn around, right? So the next one that I have is AKAM, Akamai. They make, I think they manufacture. They have something to do with chips. They're in the chip sector. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Sorry, I'm just answering the text. Okay. So the reason why I like this for a downside move, the reason why is because we have 3 upside down hammers in a row, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all like big tests of these higher levels. and then a bunch of selling, just all sellers, stepping in. So it looks like on Friday we pushed through the lows of Thursday and Wednesday. If I pull into the, yeah, I mean, we wanted to go into this gap and we kind of, made an indecision here. We kind of like slowed down. Let me throw some volume on this. This looks different. Hold on 1 second. I'm not sure why this looks different. Anyway, I'd be interested to see what the volume is on this green candle right here. Actually, you know what? I'll pull it up on Thinkorswim real quick. Just a second, guys. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it was that green candle had very, very little volume compared to the red candle that came after it that continued to sell off. Now, a lot of volume came in at 4 o'clock, but it was, I'm sure that there's some sort of institutional explanation as to why all the volume came in and this candle didn't move at all. I mean, who knows, right? But yeah, I mean, I'm sure this is a dark pool. So this is going to be a key level right here. Actually, I don't even know how much volume this is. And then let me just compare it to the rest of the day real quick. Yeah, where is it? Yeah, I mean, it looks like every day at market close, a bunch of volume comes into this ticker at, at the end of the red day. So that might be accumulation, guys. That might be something interesting there in terms of accumulation. So let's keep an eye on this. For whatever reason, they're not letting it kind of does this kind of bouncing thing where it just keeps bouncing at this level. Now, again, I have no bias. I have no bias whatsoever, but I do see a downside based on just the daily chart. If it does finally end up in the gap, then it can kind of work its way down to these levels here. Based on what we saw on TOS, it looks like there's somebody in the market that's holding it up. So let's just keep an eye on it. If you're interested in playing it, go ahead and throw it on your radar. The last one that I have is Peloton. I just wanted to point out an inside bar. I have absolutely no idea what direction this wants to go in. I forget what news they got on these days. I mean, obviously they've just been doing shit. And if you're a Peloton holder and you bought it up here somewhere, maybe the Lord will have mercy on you at some point and bless you or something. But this is disgusting. Yeah, I mean, I guess a lot of the investors watch Sex and the City, and they saw the episode with Big and they didn't like what they saw, right? But yeah, inside bar, clear boundaries, break to this looks to me like more of a downside continuation. We have earnings coming up in a couple of weeks, so that might yield a run up, but I see a clear inside bar. Let's look at this on 1 hour real quick. Yeah, I mean, this looks like a bear flag, right? Just like a bear flag that's getting ready to, or an H that looks like it's going to break and come to the downside. So I like it for the downside. I'm sure that if you look at intraday volume and all kinds of stuff, that there is more pain, there's more conviction to the downside. Let's see. The biggest volume came in on these red candles. A bunch of buyers came in here and got trapped as it sold off. And let's see. And then again, the big volume came in on these red candles, right? The red candles had the most volume. So until that changes, I'm going to remain bearish on Peloton. So that's what I have. That's what I got, Jay. Why don't you take over? And if you guys have any tickers that you want to take a look at, go ahead and put them in the chat. We'll give an analysis. Let me stop sharing.
Thank you. Good shit, Huey. I'm just happy to hear your voice, man.
Thanks, man.
I'm not lying when I say I don't have much. Let me get my notes up here. Yeah, I mean, I literally have 3: Lucid, Netflix, TTWO. So basically, like I said earlier, I'm not really a fan of anything until we start seeing what what this earnings season turns into. Microsoft obviously sets the tone, and then it goes from there. So if everything looks like shit and we keep falling, then we just keep basically doing the same thing, or just looking at the market the same way as we have over the past 2 weeks since the beginning of the year, basically. Scalp what you can. If you see things setting up to the downside that you can swing, it's probably your best bet. Otherwise, sit on the sidelines. Cash is a position, so don't feel like you have to keep trading or you have to keep your money at work, because if you don't like this market, then just sit out of it. It's not really the worst thing in the world. Study how the downside works. Look for support and resistance spots. Look for support spots that we could bounce from, because we will bounce at some point. So if we get it, then where are you looking? What are you looking at first? So I kind of built my list based off of, let's see what happens with these, with the earnings that we have coming up. So if things look good, I really only have two things that I kind of like. First one being Lucid. Basically, it looks a little better on the weekly, but I start on the daily, and this is what I noticed, that it's just been building this move here ever since November. This big November run up from, what was that, roughly 28 to 55. It pretty much doubled. 28 to 60, pretty much doubled in price in a month, and it's just hung out. It really likes this 36 level. If we go to the weekly here, it's a nice little flag. Now the weekly looks a little more bearish. You can kind of make a case for a double top here. It's not really a good spot for a double top. So, but you can just kind of see the flag that it's been making, and this has been weeks that it's been holding this 36 level. So, this is all based on the rest of the market going. If or if Lucid alone on its own just catches a bid, I think there's a really nice opportunity here. If you're bullish on something, or if the market turns up. Netflix, which sound like a weird one after what happened on Friday, but if we catch a bid, this is not the most bearish of flags, and granted, this is a 100-point drop or whatever, 150-point drop at one point. So I could say that this isn't the most bearish of flags, and it could could fart all the way its way down to zero. But just looking at that candle, it's not terrible in terms of what that candle's building. There is a little bit of support down here, in this area. I think I changed my view. And if we catch a bid, if the overall market really starts to move, something this oversold, something that has the potential to run like it does, these are the names that will probably reverse first and reverse hard. That's a huge gap. We've got a 100-point gap. So again, I don't expect it. I'm not saying it's going to happen this week. It is market dependent, but this is a name I really, really like if the market turns around and we get a true rally, or at least a few days worth, because this could be an easy 400 to 440. We could see an easy 40-point run. That could be fake, but all I would want to do is take advantage of that run itself. My last one here is TTWO. So this is an amazing looking pattern right here. So 180 to 137 in 4 days. 50-point drop. That's what, like a 25%. I guess I can see exactly what it is. 25% drop, right? Roughly, in 4 days. No news, or I'm sure there's news. I actually didn't get a chance to look at the news because I just saw the pattern and I really liked it. So this big drop has created a nice little bear flag, came all the way back up to the 100-day, to the 20-day, to the 50-day, and the 200-day. You know, they're all on top of each other. We've got two inverse hammers. This, I don't care if the market takes off or not. This is always in my book. You take this short. If it turns around, you've already got nice levels of nice pre-made levels here basically to stop out. So if you got in tomorrow, enter at 165, we'll call it 172-ish is your stop level. Like you already have 18 points of stop in front of you. So I like this no matter what the market does. And that's it, man.
This is a beautiful bear flag brewing right here.
Yeah.
I love how it looks.
Yeah, and this is the best part about it is if Monday sucks, like this is a play that you can look at on Monday.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I think this is a gaming company as well.
Yeah, I think they make that what's that, Red Dead?
Oh, Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I think they were a part of that. I could be wrong though on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, some of that could have been. I don't know when did it feels like it all kind of blurs together. It could have been something with the Microsoft acquisition news, which seemed like it was only 2 days ago. So
yeah. All the days are melding. I bet for you too.
Yeah. Let me see. Do you guys have anything that you want to look at? Any requests while you have us? Otherwise, I think we can cut it short and kind of get a little bit more rest today. Let's see.
I lost the chat. So. There we go.
Okay, I don't see anything now, so let's go ahead and call it here. Let's see. And if you guys you're going through your watch list and you do want to, let's see, CJ says, I wanted to see Netflix. Thank you. No doubt. Yeah, the Netflix, that's a nice gap with a lot of buyers that looks like they popped in at the end of the day. So it's going to be an interesting one. Netflix is one of those tickers I don't like to play ever, personally. Let's see. You bought a call and a put on Friday. Nice. So I hope that you get paid. I hope that you get a nice volatile day to pay you off. Snap. Let's look at Snap. Jay, let's look at Snap real quick.
God.
Are we filling that gap from November 2020? Let's see.
That one? Looks like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really see anything until 30. And that's kind of perfect because it'll probably meander into 30 with what is that? February 3rd. So in 2 weeks, or week after next.
Is there such thing as, so I know we all obviously know about earning run-ups. Are there such thing as like earnings, falling to hell?
Probably, I've never really looked into it. Nobody ever talks about that. So
yeah,
I'm sure there's something there.
Yeah.
It's just, are you one of the dudes that look into that?
Yeah. I guess I'll do some back testing and see if I can find instances.
Yeah, but yeah, Toast. Basically, I would assume that it's either going to get to 30 now. My guess is just because of earnings, it slows its roll and just kind of, to what, $2, 32.12 it closed. It'll probably lose that $2 over the next week, or it busts right through it. Who knows?
What else do you guys have in terms of requests? And no pressure. I mean, obviously, if you think of something a little bit later on, you can go ahead and anyone who's in the server, you can go ahead and drop it in the server. So let's look at HD real quick.
So big double top here, broke through the neckline on the 14th, last Friday. You know, 340, this is going to play support. That was a triple tap break or a double tap breakout, basically. Of there, very much looks like a triple tap. 200-day, probably get a bounce there. If we don't, ideally what I would like to see is maybe a hammer right around this, this 343, 344 level. And then remount over the 200-day, and then we go. But very, very much market dependent, like HD low probably looks the same way. I look at lumber, I guess, lumber is dying. So, this run up of lumber causes this run up in HD and lows. This run down in lumber is not going to help it because their margins are getting smaller and smaller back to normal. So 340, is basically your key level here. If it doesn't hold that, then we've got downside to 320, 300, 285. But these are extreme numbers. 320 is not, I don't think is out of the question. 300, 280, all of this. We've got bigger issues. You see anything different?
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I mean, the ideal situation would be a hammer on the 200, a hammer on that previous resistance. Right there, just a hammer forming on that right on that line, pretty much.
Yep. Nothing on the weekly. Month is not tell us anything either. That's a shitty looking month.
Wow.
Oh man, January. I mean, this is January in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
For everything.
Well, now that we're looking at the monthly, I do see the next level for it to kind of stay put would be just right around where Jay's at right now, 325. Yeah. So if it does break through the 200, look for 325 to hold support, and if it breaks through that, then look for 290.
Yeah,
underneath
300.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
just natural round number 300.
Yep. And then he said one more. Let's do shop.
You gotta stop, bro. Nothing looks terrible. I mean, just let me know when you got something to say, Huey, because I have no idea.
Well, the one thing I will say with Shop is one of those companies that, it's one of those companies that some people are super long on, and it's expensive, or was expensive rather. Now it's much, much less expensive. It looks like it's targeting that second line, that next line right there.
Yep.
And then right around 850, and then underneath 850, we can see 800 pretty easily.
Yeah.
So if you like Shop, and if you were thinking about buying it at 1500, then there should be a no-brainer. Obviously, buy some shares, dollar cost average into it. This whole market, as everyone's like kind of crying and no one's really celebrating, it's the perfect time to buy. It's the perfect time to load up on some leaps, and kind of chill, right? So with Shop, I mean, if you like Shop, maybe buy some leaps. I don't see right now. I just see, I mean, it could even be exhaustion, because look at all that volume on that last candle.
Yep.
Like insane volume. So
yeah. And I'm just trying to find some volume profile here that could give you any 5-year daily. I mean, broke through this shelf here. Here's your next little shelf. Already broke through that. Your next kind of a shelf, but these aren't really shelves. Like, here's a true volume shelf, and here's a true volume shelf.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is nothing, and this is barely a true volume shelf. We go 1-year daily. Here's your volume shelf, and then there's not even enough back there. We go weekly. Here's your volume shelf. shelf, and then nothing until 300. So there isn't even volume to support here. You know, if it bounces, it bounces. Otherwise, there's just a lot of downside pain that shop can see.
Yeah, Shop is a great example. Can we look at Amazon real quick? Shop is one of those companies that, like, if you like the shares and you want to own it, then now's the perfect time to start adding to, starting your position or adding to it or whatever the case is. Amazon's another one. I mean, Amazon is so expensive, and it's due to break out at some point. And I mean, right now it's breaking down, so it needs to get back to its box. But I see kind of like a Head and Shoulders. I see, double top. Yeah, I mean, if it fell right through it. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, there's here's a Head and Shoulder. Here's your double top. I mean, basically, it just had to make its mind on what it wanted to do within this area. It's been trading in it for so long, right? Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
It tried to break out, couldn't. Tried to break out, couldn't. Now it's trying to break down. Let's see what happens at this point. And I feel like this is just the same pattern on a ton of stocks.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been moving sideways for, in Amazon's case, for almost 2 years. But see this in a lot of things.
Hey, can we look at Jumia real quick? I haven't seen it in a while. I'm pretty sure I know what it looks like, but yeah, okay.
it just looks like garbage. I mean, $8. $8.
Wow, $8.
I mean, this is when if you're really bullish on it, $8 a share.
Yeah, that's a great.
This isn't a bad one. I can't imagine it does terrible, but what does it do? Probably, is it going to explode, or is it going to stay within 8, 10, $15 forever? It's not going to go much lower. So
yeah, that's in a nice spot. I mean, even from 8 to 16, that's 100% right there. It's not bad. It's not a bad spot.
No.
You heard it here first. Yeah, give me one of those.
Yeah.
Not asking too much. I actually want Palantir to do that finally.
I don't even look at it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it looks like.
Yeah, just know that it's choppy and it's pointing down. That's all you.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Nothing's changed.
Nope. But all right, should we call it?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, guys. Well, have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Thanks for spending about an hour with us. Like you said, goldrushgang.net for everybody that is not in. Take that week or 2 weeks. Other than that, see you in the server.
Take care, guys. Have a good night.